Excelsior, everyone. It's Shane, and I'm here to give you another The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode review and recap. It's episode 6, the last episode in this series. Is called One World, One People. As always, before I begin my assessment, I would like to tell you, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers, and then we can go ahead and burst through our next goals. Alright then. So, we're doing a little recap. As always, anything that happens in episode recaps at the beginning of these shows, things that are going to be addressed later on. Last time, we saw that Walker, John Walker, was kicked out of being Captain America. Karli being dumb. Bucky he's not mending, he's avenging. Isaiah is hurt about things that are going on. Sam is determined. Karli and Batroc work together. The GRC is being taken over and has been infiltrated. Oh no. So, we have, and I might stop and pause every once in a while because my active notes of watching this show is how I took this down in my phone. So we have Karli and the FlagSmashers. They're preparing to attack the GRC. There's a lockdown on the building, and unfortunately, there's already people that have infiltrated it, and they don't really realize that yet. Own Americans that have infiltrated this. They also put a no-fly zone on top of the building that they're having their conference slash being taken over at. We get Sam flying on in because the last thing we saw was him opening up the case to see what was inside. But we were not privy to such things just yet. But we do get and now his jet is just blue, so we see him flying on by. He is in communication with Bucky, and Bucky's already there. Uh, Bucky still's kind of wearing the jacket with the metal arm showing. The police let him through, calling Bucky Sergeant Barnes, so they're already linked up with authorities and everything like that. So they haven't had anything fully taken away from them just yet. So he wants to call him back up, and apparently Sharon shows up in front of Bucky, pulling off a synthetic mask, and it's basically the mask, Masque. They showed this in Agents of Shield with their version of Madam Mask, which Madam Mask is a major Iron Man villain. I kind of hope Madam Mask shows up in the MCU because I don't think we're gonna count Agents of Shield. Agents of Shield has some nice stuff in it, but yeah, they took a lot of detours that no one really cared about. I was done when they killed Victoria Hand, but I digress. We now have Karli seeing, Sam flying over. She knows he's there. She tells the infiltrated ones to do whatever their plan is now. They throw gas. The ones that are in there put on little FlagSmasher masks and throw gas into the GRC room, getting everybody to move out. Sam bursts through the windows because as soon as they move out, they see other FlagSmashers. And as soon as Sam's through the window, we get a look at that new suit. Ladies and gentlemen, they have done it. They gave us the original Sam Wilson Captain America outfit. This thing is complete with shield, wings, and it is definitely the red, white, and the blue. I was thinking they were going to give him a red, white, and black one because it looked like John Walker was going to get a red, white, and blue outfit for this, but I'm gonna hold off on that just for now. So he comes through. He's letting everyone know that it's a decoy, and he has the shield in tow. So he's using the shield and he's hitting the villains with it. And someone asks who is he? He says I'm Captain America. Love it, love it. And he's moving. He's active. Sam is actively moving and acting like Cap. Now, what do I mean by that? He's not on the sidelines letting someone run the place. He's like, hey, Buck, I need you to do this. Hey, Sharon, you're gonna do this. I got this going on. The same things that Steve would do when he was on the battlefield. The exact same things that Sam is doing right now. And then one of the FlagSmashers, pardon me, takes off his mask. It's Batroc. Batroc is hell bent on killing Sam for the simple fact that he ruined his opportunity to make money. Sure, Batroc is a classic villain, but he's somewhat throwaway. But I digress. So he's gonna, they're gonna go off and fight. Karli is calling, and she's calling the shots with her people. She ends up calling Bucky with this one woman gives him the phone. They got people everywhere, and she says she doesn't care if she makes it alive. She's fighting for a cause, and then she has the mitigated gall to say, with all the bodies that Bucky has collected, you know, he can't say the same. This is actually part of the reason why I dislike this character, because this character is very much too self entitled. I couldn't tell. I can't tell if the character was it supposed to be a teenager or they supposed to be 22 like the actress. And you gotta admit, most of these young actors in the MCU look like teenagers. Tom Holland, um, Zendaya, they look like teenagers, which is kind of how they would fill these roles. But I digress, right? Bucky's trying to tell her, you don't want to go down this route. I've been there before, and the fact that he has fought for a cause twice and failed in fighting for a cause twice is the reason why he knows it better than anyone. He's fought for something bigger many times before. He did that first Cat movie. He was doing that. Actually, he second time he fell was with Infinity War. So all let me see. The GRC, they have moved to different cars. They're trying to find a way to get them out of there. There's actually two armored trucks that are at the bottom ready to get them out of there. And all the while, and there's also a helicopter move. So we have three different groups, two in the same area. One is one with two in the same area. The third group's in a different area, and Sam is going toe to toe with Batroc. Uh, And as this is going on, Bucky says to Karli, any of your nightmares aren't going to end. All the bodies you take, you're going to remember every person that you killed. But seriously, uh, the cars get ready to drive off, and it's so funny because Sharon goes, "Man, Bucky, you had one job," and he's like, "Look, I got caught up doing something," and Karli just basically, I call her a dumb word. I'm not gonna say the word. I'm not gonna curse just yet, but she just says, "Oh, that's it." She's annoying, very annoying. So Bucky's gives chase by taking a motorcycle. He's giving chase to the cars. One of the officers, who is a GRC infiltrate, dude puts a lock on both of the back of the armored cars so they can't get out. And as he gets in, Sharon bumps into him, puts this thing on him. We didn't see the dude crash his van to the side. His face is melting off. When she tells Sam that, she took care of it, she explains what she did, but wow, she straight up murders a guy. Wonder why she's into murder now. And so Sam is just doing the damn thing. He asked for Bucky to take care of the helicopter. He says flying's not my thing, that's yours. And he's fighting with the shield too. Even when the shield is down on the ground, he's still fighting without it. Kicks the shield up to hit Batroc, and does a move that I've only seen in the video games, the Marvel vs. Capcom video games. He does the shield charge because he has that jetpack. He can just jet right on into Batroc, and he does one of the coolest moves, which was shown on the comic book cover. If I could have pulled that up, I would have pulled it up to show you. But throws the shield out the window, follows it, and flies, showing how he's different. The fact that he has similar moves to Steve, but he has his own moves that he can do a completely total different amount of things, given that he has wings and given that he is an aerial fighter. So Sam's giving chase because the FlagSmashers are obviously in the helicopter as well. When he gets there, he's getting shot at. He deploys Red Wing, and he asks Red Wing, find someone who knows how to fly the plane. Red Wing's able to scan every hostage that's in there. Excuse me. He finds one of the GRC senators, and she, a woman, I believe she's a Japanese woman. She knows how to fly helicopters. Karli's back on the ground. Her main group, Asian guy, older woman, black woman, of her FlagSmashers are around her, and she's saying, worst case scenario, they kill the hostages instead of using them for leverage. And the rest of her group is pensive. They're like, we didn't. That wasn't what they planned on. They didn't plan on killing anybody. And Karli says, "One world, And she says it again to get them to say one people, but Karli just needs to die. This is what I even wrote this in here. Karli needs to die. Just even when your own people don't even want to, like, it's kind of crazy, Joe. Yeah. So, um, there's another helicopter that's they're fighting over New York City. So there's another helicopter that's trying to come. That's going in there. They're gonna do crash. They're gonna crash, but they don't. But unfortunately, this helicopter is spiraling out of control. And of course, Captain America turns around. Sam is gonna go save these people. He has Red Wing drones now, not more than one. They get the pilots out. Sam gets one out, and they land on the. I believe this is the Brooklyn Bridge. They land on the Brooklyn Bridge. Sam uses the shield in conjunction with his wings to form a metal dome so that the falling helicopter bounces off and goes back into the the Hudson Bay. Goes back into the bay. Crazy thing is, there are people watching this. Everyone's cheering and clapping. The guys are thanking, the pilots are thanking Sam. Sam flies off to go back and do his thing. the so the FlagSmashers block the vehicles as they get to the road because the senators can't escape the back. They just take out the drivers. But as they as they get there, Bucky's already coming from the opposite the opposite direction. This man's gonna go toe to toe with the Asian FlagSmasher. He rams his motorcycle into the concrete barricade and just full on tackles him. So he's 1v1ing him, and Karli wants to try to cause a diversion so they can at least get away with somebody. They're gonna burn and blow up one of the cars. So of course Bucky's gonna go and try to save those people. She's using that metal arm to just bang on the door and try to pull it open. And here comes Johnny Walker, Mr. John Walker himself, and he's calling out to Karli saying, "Let's finish this." And Karli says, I put heavy emphasis on my notes and writing down what everybody says because the dialogue is one of the greatest things about this final episode. Actually, one of the best things about the show in total is the dialogue. She says, "I didn't mean to kill your friend. I don't want to hurt people that don't matter." He says, "You don't think his life mattered?" Not in her fight. The only people that she cares about are the ones that are in the truck. You know, and the crazy thing is, there are people around them. This isn't like empty streets. There are people with phones recording all this on either side now that hell is broken loose in New York City as usual. Uh, you know, uh, John Walker he's losing his cool, throws his handmade shield. She kicks it. He's gonna run and give him a fight. The other flag smashers are gonna fight against him. Bucky ends up punching the lock off and pulling it off and getting those other senators out. Um, Walker still has all this rage and he is going for them. He's punching them. He's picking up his homemade shield, which actually looks pretty decent. It has his metal bottom on the inside, not on the outside, so it looks good. They are literally gang stomping him on the ground, and Bucky. Well, after Bucky is thanked, one of these flag smashers pulls a parking meter, the thick old metal parking meter from the ground, gonna swing. Bucky blocks it to save Walker, and he ends up. I don't know if you guys ever played Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He does the thing called the bionic arm. Just whams into this guy. Now Karli tries to fight him, and she tries to grab the meter. He grabs thick chains and is smacking her around. I was happy to see her get smacked around because that character is far too annoying. Just anyway, he punches her. He's getting punched. He's getting pushed into there's a large construction site. They're making another building, and of course when you make another building, a bottom there's a bottom side to this building. So he gets knocked in. A flag smasher comes over with a giant steel girder, and they're gonna try to knock Bucky out, but that metal arm saves the day. Just you never realize that these guys are super soldiers until you see them start swinging around massive metal objects. So Sam is still flying back to the helicopter. He messages the woman on her phone. Gotta love Wakanda technology because he's able to message her on her phone, say, put an earbud in. Hey, little birdie told me you know how to fly. So, excuse me. Sam's getting hit. He blocks with the shield the helicopter that rams into him, and he gets hit into this barge that's in the bay that has the large. I don't know if you've ever seen buildings getting ready to get built, but they have the large concrete tubing. Gets knocked into that, falls into the water, and gets right out. And best line I can see, there's gonna be memes and gifs of this. He says, "Boy, you just earned this ass whooping." Loved it. He tells the woman that they need to have precision, perfect precision. So when they're gonna count down from five, when you get to one, grab the controls. So she's counting down from five to one. Sam throws the shield like this, knocks the door off, grabs the shield, tackles the flag smasher bad guy out of it. Woman takes the helicopter, able to pull it up. No one dies. He's having a bit of a midair fight with the flag smasher, but he can fly. He cannot. Knock some guys in the water. Walker gets up and he's continuing his fight. He's not giving up. Just he's not giving up. So Karli, he's trying to kill Karli, and she's still getting the best of them. Like they're fighting again when there's construction. You know how they block off the walkway so you don't get hit from above. They're fighting in that, and she's still getting the better of him. She's making her way to the truck. She to steal the truck. Bucky knocks a dude down. She tries to drive the truck over into the construction site to just kill these guys. And the truck is she jumps out in time, but the truck is going over and it's gonna fall in. Now Walker has to pick: go after Karli or go after this truck. And in my mind, I said, it's Walker. He has all this roid rage. We know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's gonna happen because he actually goes and grabs the truck, and he is doing his best to try to stop this truck with these people in it from falling over and killing them. The flag smashers tackle him. He goes tumbling over the side. Bucky pulls him aside so he doesn't get further hurt. And as this truck is about to fall in, it stops. It is our Captain America, Mr. Red, White, Blue, and Black himself, Sam Wilson, flying up with his wings, thrusters on full, shield above him, and his red wing drones helping to push it up. Again, there's everyone around him. This is modern day era, so everybody's on the telephones. And he pushes it up. He pushes all the way up, and he saves them. And Bucky is smiling because he saved those people. And one that's again a black guy goes, "Oh man, that's the Black Falcon." Yes, it is. And this other and there's black people all around. I love that. You know, this is New York. There's sprinkle of everybody everywhere, but black people are in the main focus here. And he says it's Black Falcon, and a younger black man says, "No, that's Captain America." So the red wing drone, say that three times fast, gets the door open. Karli tries to kill Bucky. She throws a rebarb. She literally throws rebarb at him, and he's able to, fast reaction catches it. But are you seriously? Well, Sam does Cap 101, throws the shield, knocks all of them out, and knocks all of them onto the ground. She takes off her mask and says, "You of all people bought into this bullshit." I'm flipping middle fingers at her, and he says, "I'm trying something different. You should too." Well, we got Batroc with a smoke grenade launcher. He's covering their escape. Smoke is all around them. Of course, Sharon is watching from overhead, and Batroc in the smoke gave Karli a gun. Sam tells Walker and Bucky to follow him because his goggles can follow footprints and foot tracks and heat signatures. Wakanda's great. So Bucky contacts Sharon, tells them where they're going. Walker and Bucky go one way, Sam goes the other because Karli did break off. And Sam happens to be going the same direction as Karli, and Batroc happens to be going that same way as well. And they're communicating through whistles. That's what Karli and Batroc are doing. She uses Batroc's real name. I don't care to know his real name. He's Batroc the Leaper. Sharon is the one that catches up with Karli. and they're going gun to gun, and Sharon puts her gun down. And as we all have suspected since episode 3, Sharon Carter is the power broker. I was really hoping she was working with the power broker, but she is the power broker. She said Karli betrayed her, but she still wants her to work with her. And she wants Karli back. Karli flat out says, all you wanted was revenge. You actually know better than the people I'm trying to fight. Batroc has a gun on Karli. He comes up and now he's like, man, okay, you're the power broker. Says the French woman 4 times more, 4 times more money. And, you know, uh, Sharon puts her finger back on the trigger, which goes to show that a trained person knows that when a finger is not on the trigger and it's on the side of the gun, knows that it won't go off and shoot someone. But if it goes into the trigger, it will kill someone. If you know, you know. So, we get into this semi standoff where Sharon shoots Batroc and Karli shoots Sharon. So, Batroc is on the ground. On the ground. I'm going to write this down. Batroc. On the ground. Sam catches up and tackles Karli again before she can fully shoot Sharon. She is shot on the side, and Karli throws this massive cinder brick at Sam, who's blocking it. He's like, "I don't want to fight you." He's using the shield and to block her attacks, using his wings stuck in the ground to give him some some proper footing when she's pushing against him. She wants him to fight, and we get to see Sam do the same flippity dippity flippity flips that he did when he was training last episode. It's perfect when we get to see these things, like when characters are training and we actually get to see them put that training to use on the screen. Mwah, perfect. So she kicks up a steel pole and she's telling him to stay down and hitting him with it. And he's like, no, just flat out, no. The others are running, and Bucky and Walker use their own app to capture them. And Walker said, Bucky's flashing this. He's like, this is really a nifty thing. And the police are all around them. They've already were able to contact the police. 3 FlagSmashers against all the police, plus 2 super soldiers. But the thing that captures me is Walker uses this quote, mercy bears richer fruit. Bucky says, really Lincoln. And Walker replies, it's a great quote, and not when you say it, though. Looks like Bucky has a new guy to bicker with, which is kind of interesting how Walker, I'll write this down too, Walker has had this bit of a turnaround. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. Just making some more notes. I wrote some notes and make some more notes. So, she being Karli, wants Sam to fight back. She picks up a gun and pointed at him, and his shield is down. Of course, Sharon shoots her because Sharon is evil. No shit. It's just like in 21 Bridges when Chadwick Boseman's character was very upset that the other white lady shot the Jamaican kid. Obviously, she's trying to cover her tracks. Seeing some correlations here. I digress. Watch 21 Bridges. I enjoyed it. Good movie. Not fantastic, but it's a good movie. So, Karli, I'm thinking to myself, Karli, why don't you tell him that she is the power broker before you die? And all she says is, I'm sorry. It's a good thing, but she says, I'm sorry. Sam is obviously pissed. Anthony Mackie is an amazing actor. He does a great job with his facial expressions. He carries her body out. Everyone is watching him. He's flying and he kind of lands. It's a really nice scene. It's almost, I give Zack Snyder kind of a lot of crap for his Christ-like illusions with Superman, but this is very much an angelic light kind of thing because there's a light coming down on him as he's carrying Karli's body down. He puts her on a stretcher, and everyone in the media is around him. Like there's some space. He has some space to walk to the senators, but the media's asking, says, "So when did the government make you Captain America? Are you Captain Falcon?" LOL, Falcon punch. Are you still the Falcon? He's thanked by the GRC. They thank him for getting rid of the terrorists, and he says, "You need to stop calling them terrorists. Are you still going to go with your reborder plan?" Excuse me. And your people go around and carry. And I told you, I focused on the speeches, and this is important. He says, your people walk around with guns. If you're going to call all these other people terrorists, what do you think they call you? You know, settlements were set up 5 years ago. Do you think it's fair that the government supports them? Sam says yes. Hell yes. Walker and Bucky are all to the side by these ambulances, and they're watching this. Actually, the whole world is watching this. The cameras are rolling, and people can clearly hear Sam speaking. They are listening to the new Captain America, the real Captain America, speak on a world issue that also involves the nation of the United States. And the older senator, the one with the scruffy beard, he says, "What if someone else reappears within a home that was theirs, but someone else is in it? You don't understand this." And Sam says, "No, I don't understand this." And for once, everyone in the world has a common struggle. He goes on to say, you know, now you understand what it is to be helpless. You know how it feels to be helpless. You know, to face down a force that could erase half of everybody on the planet and not be able to do anything about it. You know, the fact that you have so much power, GRC person, GRC senators, you are basically able to have that same impact. You're not supposed to have an under. You're not supposed to. This is not supposed to be an easy decision to make. Correct. And he goes on. The guy goes on to say again, "You just don't understand." He says, "Man, quit telling me I don't understand. I am a black man carrying the stars and stripes. What don't I understand?" At this moment, we're able to see that his sister Sarah, that Isaiah Bradley, and his grandson Elijah are all watching this. At different points in time, we see their faces at different points of the speech. Torres is also watching on the Air Force Base. He says, you know, and this is when we get the close up of Isaiah Bradley's face. He says, "Every time I pick this up, there are people who are gonna hate me for it. Even now, he can feel it, the hatred and the judgment, and there's nothing he can do about it." This is when Isaiah's watching, and he's in awe of Sam. "There's nothing I can do about it. I can do nothing to change it. But the one thing he's gonna do is keep going. I'm still here. No super serum, no blonde hair, no blue eyes. The only power I have is that I believe that I can do better. What we can't demand people step up and we don't meet them halfway. You control the banks. Shit, you can move borders. You can knock down trees with an email. You can feed 1 million people with a phone call." This is what Taurus is watching, and I'm gonna interject in this speech that this is where the MCU has done something amazing concerning myself personally with these black characters. The Falcons, I've liked Sam Wilson as a character. I can appreciate T'Challa as a character, especially when he joined the Fantastic Four. But it takes amazing actors like Chadwick Boseman, Anthony Mackie, showrunners like Malcolm Spellman, and Ryan Coogler as director to bring out the essence of these characters and make them different and make them more important than what they were in the comics. Never cared about Black Panther until I was shown that he wasn't this proudful braggart, showing me that he was a person that actually cared. And I identified so much with Sam Wilson, especially what's been going on in the world. If unless you have had your head buried in the sand, you know what's been going on. It's been going on since the summer, and I feel exactly like this. I understand how people see me in this country. I understand how people see me in this world, but I hold on to the faith and the belief that I can make things better. Other people can make things better. There are people out there who are fighting to make things better, and that's really all we can do is do our part. So I digress. Just give me some injecting some of my personal feelings into this. He goes on to say, he goes on to say, when you're making these questions in this room, in these rooms where you're making these questions, the real question is, who's in there with you? Are there more people who think like you, or are you, you know, having people who these decisions will impact in that room with you? This girl died to stop you, and no one even cared to stop to ask why. You know, you have to step up, Senator. And if you don't, there's going to be another Karli. And trust me, you don't want to see the 2.0 version of her. You know, people believed in her so much that they defied the strongest governments in the world. Why do you think that is? Look, you people, You people have the power to have the same power as an insane god or a mixed up teenager. This is what kind of made me tilt my head and made me wonder, okay, was Karli actually a teenager this whole time? Was she maybe on the cusp of 18? Uh, I would assume that she was 22 like her actress, but maybe she was a teenager, and that could explain her whiny behavior, her Anakin Skywalker behavior, if you will. I like Anakin, but still. Anyway, question you have to ask yourself is how are you going to use this power? Sam makes this amazing. I hesitate to call it a speech, but it is a speech, but it's a speech while he's having a one-on-one conversation. Steve Rogers gave excellent speeches, and he had impactful conversations, but it was coming from the standpoint of this is the right thing to do. Do the right thing. Do not rest on your laurels. Depend on your morals. This is Sam Wilson, a black Captain America, saying, I know how bad the world is. I live those injustices every day. This is what you need to do. You need to do your part. And we have FlagSmashers masks that are just on the sidewalk. Whoever was in with that group that had joined from the streets, they heard Sam's words and they said, cool. Uh, as Sam walks away from them, he gives he gives Walker a nod, and Walker gives him a nod, show of respect. And Bucky makes a joke saying, "You know what? I gave up. I gave up paying attention after the Black Captain America thing." I think that's what he said. I didn't write it down. But he makes a joke. They're buddy buddy. Sharon's on the side. Someone calls him Cap, like someone saying Cap, Captain America. He's talking to Sharon, thanking her for her help. They want to take her to a hospital, but obviously they can't because she is still a treasonous traitor, which she still is a treasonous traitor. But I'll get into that in a minute. He said he didn't forget his promise, and Captain Americas generally don't forget their promises. He goes to the person that's calling him because Sharon and Bucky they leave. He's saying, "What's up?" There's a last smasher out there. He's hurt, but he's not taken out. He's not dying, but he's still in the bay in the water. Do you think he'd help us out? And Sam says, he says always. He goes to go get him. Uh, the police are going to take the FlagSmashers to the raft. That's where they're going to put these superpower beings. But one of the soldiers walks up to him and says, one world, one people. And they all think, oh, yeah, we're going to get out of this and we're going to make it out. But as the trucks pull off, the truck that has all of them in it blows up. And we get a nice little wide shot of an old white gentleman sitting in the car. And this gentleman, of course, is Baron Zemo's butler. So we get a shot of the raft. Baron Zemo must be a model prisoner because he has not only books, but he has a radio in his room. And he can hear that, yeah, 4 FlagSmashers that were in the truck blew up and Zemo's work is done. All super soldier people are gone, or so he thinks. But still, he was going to let Bucky live, period, which I'm going to get to in I'm going to do a full wrap up of the implications of this show next week. But he knows Bucky's alive, but John Walker is still the last super soldier. So, you can tell Zemo's happy. So, Val, Miss Contessa, oh my God, Allegra Contessa, Val, Valentino. She tells Walker he needs to check his phone, and you know she shows her phone to Walker's wife, saying, "Yeah, I guess Zemo's happy." She knows it's Zemo. This is a woman with whatever resources she has. She's always in the know. Even when something unexpected happens, she knows who did it and for what reason. So she even says, "Yeah, I guess Zemo happy," and he got the last laugh. And she tells a joke about maybe it was me that helped do this. And she's, face to face with Walker's wife. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? No, I'm kidding. Or am I? No, seriously. I didn't care. And she's asking what the heck is taking Walker so long. Look at Steve. Taking Walker so long to get out. I guess they look like they're in that same hall where he got court-martialed. She's wondering what's taking him so long to get out. And his wife says, it's the helmet. Now, you think he's taking it off? No. He has on the black U.S. agent outfit. Oh, oh, oh. Let me let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Because U.S. agent's outfit has always been black. It's only been blue in the 60s and 70s when he first took over for Cap. When Captain America had grew tired from the disillusionment of America because of all the injustices that were going on in the 70s and became the Nomad. John Walker then became Captain America, but he has always been known as the U.S. agent. Yeah, that outfit looks familiar, doesn't it? It looks exactly like the outfit that he was wearing in the show, except it's black, which it's always supposed to be black. I thought that they're going to continue letting him be the dark navy blue, and Sam was going to be black, red, white. But no, they did red, white, and blue for Sam, and they have black, red, and white for U.S. agent. I've liked John Walker as a character, given how starkly in contrast he was to Steve Rogers. How he's like, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to shoot some shots and bang some people up to do what needs to be done. Regular Captain Americas don't kill. He already has, and he will kill again. And you know, Val Val says to him, "Hey, things about to get really, really weird. I'm just gonna let you know things about to get weird. So when they do get weird, we're not gonna need a Captain America. We're gonna need a U.S. agent." And and both Walker and Mrs. Walker, they both love the code name, and they jump up. They're happy, and he says, uh, "Yes." He says, "Thank you, Val," and she says, "Don't call me Val." And he says, "Yes, ma'am." So there, Walker gets a happy evening with his wife, which she knows that something big is about to happen, huh? Looks like we're about to get Dark Avengers, right? Meanwhile, we got to wrap up this scene that's going on with Bucky. Bucky visits Nakajima in his apartment, and he comes to tell him what's going on. Nakajima's surprised because it's not Wednesday, and I guess Nakajima didn't pay attention to the news. He says that his son was murdered by the Winter Soldier, and he was the Winter Soldier. And Nakajima asks him why. Why did he murder him? And he says, "I didn't have a choice." They are both in tears because Sam is sad that this young man had to die for no reason. And not Sam, I'm sorry, Bucky said he had to kill this kid for no reason, and he didn't want to kill him. And he said that it's hurt his friend, who literally they're probably the exact same age, if not Bucky being a lot older, a little bit older. I'm sorry. So he leaves out of the apartment. We see the office of his psychiatrist. He leaves her a thank you note that tells her keeps the book because he has successfully crossed out all the names in that book. He's walking and he walks past the ramen shop, and he sees that cute girl. She's sitting there with Mr. Nakajima. Of course, she has to get back to work, but he is sad because he can't go in and sit down. While he did bring closure to someone else, it was at the price of a friend, and he walks off. Meanwhile, Sam visits Elijah, goes up to the door, and Elijah opens up the door, says, "What do you want?" And Sam says, "You need to." He says, "You need to learn some manners." And he says, "What do you want, Black Falcon?" And Isaiah's behind Sam and says, "He ain't Falcon no more, but he's still black." And he said, he saw him, and so did everybody else in the world. He knows the GRC are now going to stand down on their plans. And he says that Sam is special, and he thanks him, saying that he's no Malcolm or Martin or Mandela. And Sam's not going to argue. He says, "Hey, I got a lot of, I know what I got to do." So Black Captain America and Sam goes, "Damn right. The fight you taking on isn't easy, Sam." He picks up this massive pot because he does gardening. That's what keeps Isaiah Bradley sane. He's doing gardening. He picks up this massive pot, and Sam tells him, "I might fail, shit, I might die, but we built this country and bled for it, and I'm not going to let anyone tell me I can, whether I can or cannot fight for it. Not after what everyone has gone through, including you." And Isaiah's kind of near tears here, but he cracks a joke saying, "Man, I almost bought into that shit that you said." And he asked him, "Man, do you ever ease up a bit?" His son Elijah goes, "No, not at all." But Sam tells him, "Hey, clean up a bit. There's something I want to show you." And while his grandson is pressing him to know where to go, where they're gonna go, Isaiah telling them to shush, let it be a surprise. They go to the Captain America Museum wing, and as they're walking through and navigating, they find this corner, and they walk in, and Isaiah's eyes light up. There is a bronze statue. I'm tearing up because this is a really touching moment. There's a bronze statue of himself, pictures of his platoon and his squad mates, and he says now they'll never forget what you did for this country. Now they think he's dead, but he can now live in peace and have no one going after him, but just to know that people are going to know what you did. And after Isaiah shakes his hand, he goes in and he hugs him, and he's crying. He's in tears, and it's this is I love how much respect they put on the name of Isaiah Bradley. Showrunners, you guys have outdone yourself with this one. This is fantastic. So, down south, the people in New Orleans, they're taking pictures with Sam. They're happy to take pictures with the Black Captain America. They came from their hometown. Everyone's eating and having fun. The ending song I wrote down was "On and On" by Curtis Harding. Bucky is there. He still, got him and Sarah got the eye for each other. He's able to lift up kids with his metal arm, not the real arm. He could do the real arm if he wanted to too. And honestly, they're looking out at the ocean. Uh, you know, Bucky gives Sam another pat on the back, like he did Steve. He gave Sam a pat on the back when he had the his suit on, which was a really nice passing of the torch moment. And you know, there you go. That's that. And the ending credit scene doesn't say the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It says Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Even the whole graphic at the end changes. Everything that says Falcon says Captain America. There's a shield going on. Amazing. But now we have the mid credit scene after the fancy credits. Sarah Connor. Wow, Sharon Carter has been fully pardoned, and she can actually get her position back at her old job. They all thank, they say the Carter family has done much for this country, much for the world. They're thanking that they're apologizing. They're telling her she has her job back, and she obviously has that evil smirk on her face as she goes out the window, calls whoever associate she's talking to, tell them super soldiers are off the market, but we're gonna have weapons and government info. I'm sure somebody's gonna want to buy that. So I'm pretty dang sure she is going to be the villain either for the next season or for the next movie, which has been confirmed as of 2 or 3 hours ago of me doing this video. They're going to do a Captain America 4, which Captain America series of movies was actually the first Marvel movies that didn't do the 1, 2, 3 thing. They did the Captain America, then title, which you should always do. Technically, Thor did that, but we're not going to talk about Thor's movies. I cannot wait to see what the title of his movie is going to be. The showrunner, Malcolm Spellman, black man. He also was a showrunner for Empire. Empire was a great show. He's done a great job. I love it. Karen Scoglin, white woman, directing this. She did a great job. The other showrunners, which I got to shout them out as well. It's Michael Castanline and Derek Kolstad. Great job. Like they covered so much emotion. They were able to explain the black experience within America and frame it within this comic book, superhero land, and they did a fantastic job. In my humble opinion, they did a wonderful job. Um, yeah, I know I went kind of long with this, but the speeches were important to me. The speeches were the best thing, in my opinion. The action was fantastic. Please, if you have not seen it, please go and see it. I plan on watching this again later on tonight when I have the opportunity to. So for me, the good was the suits, the action sequences, the dialogue was amazing, the acting, everyone's acting was on point. Um, Great implications for this. The bad was Sharon Carter, Karli, and Batroc. Batroc's not dead. We may have seen him on the ground, but unless till you see a full body, person's not dead. Batroc's gonna come back, and they're not gonna kill any movie character shown in a movie. They're not gonna kill him on the TV show. That's for sure. At least in my opinion. Uh, I'll tell you about the implications of this show next time. One of the reasons why I said Sharon Carter was bad because now she is just irredeemable. She is so jaded by the system and what's going on, and probably by the fact that Captain America kissed her and then left and went off to be with her great aunt. So, the fact that she was still on the run while everybody else kind of moved back in and people forgot about her, maybe, but at the same time, people were dead for 5 years. So, this isn't the same Sharon Carter from the comics that I grew up with, the one that is about truth and justice, and she finds a way to get truth and justice, but even if it's by killing and those means like that, but she wasn't this jaded, evil power broker. And there's been two different power brokers in the comics. I wouldn't doubt if when they capture Sharon, because she's probably going to be the main villain for the next movie or the next series, once she's in jail, probably someone else is going to step right into that role as power broker. So, thank you guys for showing up. I gotta give this episode is still doesn't compare to episode 2. It still doesn't compare to seeing Isaiah Bradley. But I will give this a 5 out of 5. Everything was just so visually appealing, and this is actually the one episode I am going to go back and watch again. So 5 out of 5 from me. Please let me know what you thought of the episode down in the comment section right here. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit me a like. Please hit the notification bell to get notified of more videos like this. I usually do these Marvel things every Friday that they come out, guys. But don't worry, we're gonna have something to fill in this slot. Please remember, tune in next week because I'm gonna have implications of the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Remember, share the video so other people can see the great discussion we're having. I'm giving you in-depth analysis while recapping. Sometimes you forget things while being engrossed in the action, and you should be engrossed in the action, right? So please share this. As always, I want to thank you for your time. Please remember, wash your hands. Be good, be blessed. Wear a mask. Don't be a jerk. Be good to yourself as well as others. And I will definitely see you next time.